Hello. So let's see. I was about to commit the changes we made, but there's one thing I have to reason about, and that is the fall through behavior. Because now we're not like, I wonder, does this actually work now? Because now the on-click only happens once. But why does it only happen once? Why doesn't it fall through? Like, and if I remove it, it still works. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? So with function components, it would merge the attributes into the prop. So it would kind of override it. But that's not what's happening here. What's happening here? What is actually happening here? Where is this? So here we're stateful. Okay, so we created this props proxy thing. No props options are defined. Infer them by access to the by proxying access from props to attributes. Yeah, so why? So let's move to that part with a get functional. Wasn't that the thing? Oh, that was here. Get functional fall through. So here we were, yeah, how did this work? Get functional fall through attributes. Where was the merging? Was it in here? But this doesn't run at all. Like fall through attributes. I completely. Why doesn't it happen twice? I don't understand. Oh. No. Oh, I think it's because of this thing. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. So what if I go in here and I say inherit attributes false? Then I think it stops working. Yeah, then it stops. If I add on click props on click, and then it works, still works. Okay. So what I think happens is that when we run this and we have inherit attributes, it will it will not pass any additional props except style and class to the V node when it's rendering it. So it won't apply any listeners. Regardless. Yeah. But then how does it inherit it? Inherit. Yeah, this is a little bit confusing because here it's shape flag stateful. Maybe I shouldn't ask so many questions. I find it is on accessed attributes. Did it run this stuff? Let's see, console.log. Whoop. No. Yeah, I'm a little bit unsure how that actually works. Because it doesn't, like, I thought the inheritance happened because we pass, like, the inheritance happens because in here we pass the fall through attributes. And on clone node, we get these extra props, and these extra props oh, I thought this is where it would apply them. Oh, sorry, yeah. So here we have merge props, right? Oh, but then it takes props from the V node. Oh, okay. So what I think happens is that since we apply this proxy, these merge props. No. Maybe? What does merge props do? Yeah, it goes through the keys. Okay, so if that props is a proxy, it actually goes through the attributes and applies them. Yeah, but it doesn't become duplicate, right? That's not possible because you're just using the attribute. So there is only one on click. And when I do inherit false, it still has attributes. That's the confusing thing. Like you're saying inherit attributes false, it still has attributes in the attributes object. It's just not being applied to the element. But maybe that is a problem. Maybe it is still. No, because if we have inherit false, we still want to just apply all the attributes. Or do we? Thinking. No, I think there's a problem here. I think when we So what if I have a nested, let's make this, we shouldn't test it on the root. We should test it on button test on click. Here we're going to put the props on click instead. And I think we're going to see some problems. So now, now let's just test it. So now I'm doing, yeah, exactly. So now I did, yeah, exactly. This is the problem. So our proxy is, yeah, because now the click is still put there and it's here and it's double here, right? So this is not what we want. So I think, where is our create stateful props proxy? I think it actually should move to the props options. So we're gonna try to do that again. Let's see, can I just undo this? And I want to see if this is automatically fixed. Oh, we have to implement it again. We're gonna say instance props options equals and the props options, let's just look at this. Oops, props options, because I wonder if it just works now doing this. I have a feeling it doesn't, but then we have to fix that. Okay, let's run this. It might work. It depends on where it actually evaluates those things. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so okay. So the problem is that we are now accessing. Okay, so let's do console.log accessing key, and then we're also going to go, was it here? Where does it do the merge? Create vnode. No, where was it? Where did we do the, yeah, get functional fall through, blah, blah, blah. Clone vnode, that's the thing we're looking for. And then console.log merging props. So I think these merge props is what's being applied to the actual element. Morning, Adam. So 15-second, 30-second summary. So in the previous stream, I said, I've been thinking, I don't want to create a new library. I want to do what I can to make Vue work well. And if the PR just is closed, at least it's a point for inspiration. And the whole article is really about this PR, making Vue adoptable for React developers. And then that's it. I don't have energy to create another library, write documentation, especially if it's an abstraction overview to fix certain problems with Vue and have to explain all of that. And I just can't take it. But what I'm doing is that I'm cleaning up the PR so that each commit represents an improvement to Vue to kind of optimize that. At least we can contribute with something. So now there's one commit which is just improved JSX typing. And then there's another commit which is the actual children implementation. with the children typing as well. And then I'm working on another commit now, which fixes the progression from a function component to a stateful component so that props behaves the same. And I think it's doable. I think it's doable. So what happens then is like, then you can just go to Vue and you can start using function components. Like, given that the whole PR is merged, you can just use function components, children, everything just works. And then when you want to do something stateful, you use define component. And actually it improves typing a little bit. Yeah, so you just use define component, and the point is that it needs to work exactly the same as the function component, and that's what I'm trying to do now, or researching now. And then you really have, and then you have like provide and inject from Vue, which is like the little create provider abstraction I created. Like it's so tiny, like you can just use provide and inject directly from Vue. It's super simple. Yeah, it's crazy that it doesn't work the same. Let's see. Yeah, and I built it now. Wait, did I build it? No. Let's see. But so what I'm doing is that, so when you're using a function component, you have something called the props object. But that props object, that is actually the internal attributes object. Yes. And what's interesting about that is, if you were to like use, even though you have attribute fall through to the root element of the component, if you were to put like an but if you put the on click somewhere, oh yeah, of course, that's why it's duplicate. Okay, but we're on to something here. At least so what I'm doing, yeah, so you have that attribute thing that represents the same thing. But when you move to the define component, suddenly that's not the case anymore. Now there is an explicit props object, and that can only be populated by this props array, defining the keys to move from the internal attributes object to the props object. But what I'm doing now is that I'm making the props object a proxy to the attributes object. And then when you access a key on the props, we actually access it on the underlying attributes object, but then we flag it as props accessed, so it won't fall through to the root element. But thank God we review this, because this needs to be the same for function components. But anyways, let's see. So I'm accessing foo, I'm accessing onClick, and then it's merging the props. So that's great. So now we can track what's being accessed. So I think we're rather going to do a generic implementation of this, where so the problem here with merge props is that it's going through the props and accessing all the keys on the props. So it will wait a minute, merge props. Thinking. What do we actually want to do here? What do we actually want to do here? Because even though this is merged props, thinking. And then it has props. I think that's what makes it apply it as a fall through. But that's interesting to me. Because vnode props, no, it's not the merged props that causes the fall through. I'm trying to find the actual point where it applies the let's think about this. Get functional fall through. So yeah, so it's when it creates the fall through attributes. We want so this is fine. How does it create it for the stateful? So, oh, if it's a stateful component, the fall through attributes is the attributes. Okay, so it hasn't okay, so this is the thing. When does this happen? So normally in this, before this happens, it has done the props moving. So it has moved based on the props array. It has moved the keys from attributes over to props, and then everything else becomes fall through attributes. But we're accessing everything before it does this. So what we need to do is in that proxy, yeah. So first we're gonna check how exactly does set full props, how exactly does it move the, does it just delete? Or does it return a new? So here it definitely, oh, I think when thinking. So I think here it passes in raw props, and attributes, and then it goes through and figures out what from raw props should we add to props and attributes. Thinking. So what we could do is, if we're accessing I don't like the idea that we, maybe it's fine. Maybe it is fine. Create stateful. Let's change this first. Create props proxy. So this should be a props proxy regardless. Yeah, so what's really nice about this is let's see. Yeah, so we're going to use props proxy here. With declared props. But doesn't it have, okay, so that would be, yeah, if it doesn't have props on it, that's when we use the props proxy. Yeah, we should just use props proxy on all of them, because props proxy, oh yeah, okay. So okay, so if is stateful and is stateful and or no instance type dot props. Okay, so if it's stateful and we haven't defined any props options, or it's not stateful and we haven't defined any props, that's when we do the actual proxy. Props or let's rename this. So this will be props or props proxy. We should maybe write this a little bit differently. Because it might be just the props or it might be the proxy. Let's call it like final props or something. Final props. Or we can call it instance props. Yeah, because the thing, we don't want to use the attributes. We actually want to use this proxy, the proxies to the attributes. Okay, this is correct. And then has stateful props definition. Functional props definition as functional props definition, not is stateful and no reason to do. I like to wrap it with Boolean. This one I don't really have to, but that one can be length, so that's weird. I guess we don't have to do it here. Okay, and then we say instance props, and then we say instance props. Yes, exactly. Okay, so create props proxy. Now the question is, instead of doing this, we should not be doing this. That didn't work. Should we allow to just manipulate these objects as they're being accessed? So, for example, here, we're gonna so if the key is in attributes, so there's one thing here, and that one thing is you might access something conditionally, or you might access something in an effect, for example. That's what makes this a little bit icky. So I think it really needs to know. Let's see. Do we know if the instance has been mounted? Is mounted. Yeah. So I think, okay, so let's pass the instance in there. Instance, internal component, what was it? Component internal instance. So I think this proxy should only do its work. So if instance is unmounted, then we're gonna use the attributes, or we're gonna use the props. Because we only want these proxies to be active during the like the first execution of setup and the UI. After that, it shouldn't be manipulating anything. And if the access props key exists on the props, yeah, just return it. We've moved it. If instance is unmounted and key in attributes, then we're gonna do them. So we're just gonna try this first, and then we're gonna think about it. Value is attributes key. Then we're gonna delete attributes key. We're gonna say target key equals value. So we're basically just moving it lazily. If the access props key exists on so the only thing here is like, what if you have some kind of yeah, I'm not sure if it should work like this. Let's see. Let's undo this. So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to avoid that access props during setup and rendering out the UI becomes a fall through attribute. And the only way to make that happen is that we have to remove it from attributes and move it to props. But if you were to access yeah, no, I think that was correct. So if you were so let's say you have a conditional in your UI. You're just not like, well, okay, I guess that's an issue. So what would be an issue is if I do like if props awesome return h1 hello, or like should click, right? And I do props should click, and then I do on click here. I haven't accessed the on click. So what will, yeah, this is a problem. So if I haven't accessed the on click. So what will happen is that this one will get the on click. Hmm. Yeah, it's a good point that um yeah, so yeah, because it's interesting what you're saying. Like, so with TypeScript, if you were the only way to get fall through attributes with TypeScript is that you actually type your component to have attributes. Let's see, attributes, um, which means that um, you know that you have fall through. Um, well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. So if I don't have fall through typed, it would still, let's see, should click boolean. So if I did this, props on click, or the button is on click. So if I did this, it would attach the on click to the H1. But it's but it's like it's I get the statement. It's like it's super weird to have fall through with conditionals, but the point here is that we don't want you to even think about fall through. It's like yeah, but this could be anything. Like it was a made up scenario. It's but technically what happens is that you're in this, so you're kind of going into Vue, you don't know about fall through attributes, right? You're just exploring Vue, and it just needs to behave the way you expect it to. So these fall through things, they will happen regardless, or you have to explicitly turn them off. But so I guess that's the goal. It's like, can we make fall through an experience that doesn't break your brain? And for and it can by tracking what you access on props. That way it's not mind bending, because by the share accessing of props, that tells Vue that you want to control this prop. Don't do a fall through. But now with conditionals, you might not access the prop you want to control, like just generally. And then the fall through will happen. Yeah, so it's kind of, I'm trying to reach a point where you don't have to go and turn off fall through. Just the experience of because I think there's value to it. It's just, it's all this explicitness. But yeah, could you be in a situation where, like, how like maybe a different way to do this would be, yeah, okay, so what if it's like an actual button and you have a loading state on that button? I know this isn't like completely So you did this, and then you have loading, and then you would do props loading. You would do undefine, right? I'm saying like you would typically have the on click and you would do disabled, but you could do something like this. And then in this case, if you passed in loading, the on click would be active on the div. um, which would be insanely weird. Like you would never understand why that happened. Um, hmm. Could argue that you should never conditional return. Oh yeah, diff element roots. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, this one's is the same element root. But yeah, I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here. But yeah, the structure is also interesting. Because that is a getter, right? So you immediately just say I'm interested in this thing. And maybe that could be, that could also be a way to explain it. But then it's like you shouldn't have to explain anything. Because if you have to explain that pattern of destructuring props, then you might as well say, oh, you should go, there's an option, inherit attributes false. What you mean? Could we do that for? You mean like all attributes passed? Like ideally, the way this worked is that you actually did like the function component, that what you got here wasn't props, it was attributes. Like you actually got the attributes, and then I think this was in the argument of Evan when he first suggested to remove fall through attributes, is that you would do like you would do the structuring, right? You would do I care about the on click, but then you have the rest I think is attributes, and I want to put those here, or I want to like this is how it should have been implemented. And it really upsets me that people went against Evan on this, because this is how it should work. It just gives you full control and predictability. It's so annoying. Or at least that's how I, maybe Evan like, yeah, I don't know the full story. I'm just looking at PRs, but it's very annoying that they didn't fix this for Vue 3. Well, maybe what we could also do is So okay. Yeah, so the thing is, if you so the way I'm starting to think about how it works internally is that you have this component and you pass it attributes. That's the mental model. Like all components, they get attributes. With a function component, you just have access to the attributes. And then if those attributes has like a class or a style or like some on-click kind of thing, that will behave as a fall through. But in define component, you don't have access to the attributes unless you use like a hook. Yeah, you don't have access to the attributes. So if we were going to kind of just access everything, we would just make define component work the same way. Like you would just access the attributes. But that's too big of a change, I think. Like it would never be merged. But I was thinking maybe by the sheer access of something on the props indicates that you don't want fall through. In the sense that how should I put this? Yeah, so it's like if you access anything on the props, you put inherit attributes false, and then you do this, like you spread it. But I would imagine, or like one important thing here is, okay, this is interesting, because if anyone's using props in define component, they will have a props configuration, right? So what if right? They will have a props configuration. So what if we just say that, okay, if you don't have a props configuration, but you access something on the props, it means that we shouldn't inherit attributes. Because nobody would ever want to, well, not inherit attributes. How should I put this? That's wrong. No. Yeah, so there's only two ways to use define component now. Either you don't define any props, and but you still pass it attributes, right? And those will behave as fall through. Or you have defined props, but we don't do anything. Like the point, this implementation is only for define component without the props definition. And if you don't define props, you don't use props, right? That's the whole thing. But what if you don't have defined any props, but you still use props? Then it behaves correctly. Like then it behaves the way it should behave, which is you don't have fall through, but we proxy to attributes, and then you choose how you want to do it. I think it makes sense because nobody in there, like, it's not possible to use props today with Vue without defining props. And then Evan gets what he originally wanted. But we don't break anything. I think it makes sense. But that would have to be like the argument. It's like, first, this is how you can use define component today. or you can use props in define component today. It's by defining props. Yeah, let's implement it and see. The only thing I want to reason about is this needs to also be for functional. So if functional, I guess it's the same there. Yeah, it's the same there. Okay, let's implement and see. So what were we doing? We were saying if you access anything, we want to tell the instance to not have, yeah, basically instance where's the default props? No. Inherit attributes false. But it can't exist on the props, right? That's the thing. So we don't even need. Yeah. So we don't even need props. We just need attributes, because this is the whole thing. Like, props becomes attributes on function component. Yeah, this makes so much sense to me. Okay. So we don't need this mount unmounted thing. And then we can say, well, we just use target. We don't even need to do this. We can just remove all of this. Yes, yes, yes. I feel something. I think this is something that could be done. Props to attrs proxy. Yeah, and then, yeah, sorry. And then we say, well, we don't have to do this. If no props if no props options are defined, if no props options are defined, okay, well, let's just test it first. Oh, this makes me very excited. How amazing wouldn't it be if the whole PR was merged? Let me just yeah, vnode. Let's revert that or discard it. And let's discard this. Okay. Yeah, let's do all the scenarios here. So let's start with function component. So the thing we want to ensure is that by default, let's just do props here. So by default, let's see. So let's say we want to have, let's drop, yeah, let's do. So we're gonna have the on click here. So by default, oh my god. Should we do this? Maybe we should just create all the scenarios. header 1. And let's drop this. Okay, let's just do it from scratch. So now what we want to do now is to ensure that if we have an on-click okay. Oh, there's so many scenarios. So let's just do a typing of on-click void. Okay, so it's like typing props to like functional attributes. Return. Oh. Let's just make a copy before we delete. So that's header 1, and what we expect to happen here is that let's call it h1 no access to props. Like for some reason you have this component where you only rely on fall through, right? And this is the beautiful thing with people coming into this with TypeScript. It's like you wouldn't add anything to this component without typing. So if you type fall through, like you want fall through attributes, you have to type it, and to type, and you have to, then you know what you're doing. You know about fall through attributes. That's the only way you would define something like this, is because you know about it. Okay, so header 1 has this on click. Oh, sorry, header 1. Wait, and then children, sorry. Oh, but this is interesting, because you might access, we have to think about this. You might access children. Oh, what about children? Like, I know it's damn it. Yeah, could have a special case for children, but then we say that but we don't know if the user passed children as an actual children prop from the new commit, or they happen to have a children prop in their existing code base. But I guess let's see, children string. Let's see. What does this mean? So if you have an existing, let's say this was actually released, and then you have a code base where you have functional component that takes children, but then you would have explicitly, no, that's the thing. That is the thing. Like, oh yeah, we can do that. You know why? Because it will cause an error. It will cause an error with fall through. So if you would had an existing component that didn't explicitly, which has a children prop, and you didn't explicitly put it in like header one props like this. If you didn't do that, then you will get an error because it would try to apply children to the h1, and that gives an actual error because it's an actual attribute of or it's an actual property of a DOM element that you can't override. And if you have done this, we won't add this behavior, so we're fine. We can do that. Where is it? So create props to attributes proxy. Yeah, let's want to check this. Where do we actually add the children thing? So init props. Yeah, this happens in. Wait, isn't it here? Init props. Where is it used? Go to references. Wait, what's happening here? Component init props. Weird. This is where we init the children and we add it to the actual props object. Oh, but maybe that's enough. So we don't actually have to do this because we actually add thinking. I think a better implementation is probably that we include the props here. So if we find it on the props, which we would do with children, we just return it from. Yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna pass the props here, and then we only turn off inherit attributes if we. So we are gonna go through the props. To see if we can find it there. Like, the point is that there's nothing on the props except the children. Yeah, maybe we should make an exception instead. Oh, but the problem is now we're replacing the proxy. Yeah, no, we need to sorry. We need to pass props data, and then if key in, and we're gonna actually proxy the props. And then we're gonna say reflect on keys would be reflect on keys target, like this, target. And then if key in target, we're just gonna return reflect get target key. And if it's not there, we're gonna say inherit attributes false, and then we're gonna reflect attributes instead. Yes. This is how we're gonna do it, because then I think it's more future safe as well. Or wait. Oh, wait a minute. Init children. We do not override with children. How did this work? We say instance props. So at this point, we've already updated the props. So it already has the proxy there. How does this work? I'm a little bit confused because in what we've done here now is that with this set full props thing, we are changing the set full props. At the end of the day here, we are changing. Wait, not init props. Sorry. Here we, at the end of the day, set full props. We are changing the init props. Here we say set full props. So here we get props, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the day, we say instance.props. Here we actually set instance.props. And that might be the proxy. And then we add this value, the children, init children. But here we set the children. So that means, for fuck's sake. So that means that we're either adding it to the props object itself. Yeah, so what I think happens here is that we're doing define property on instance props, and the proxy represents, let's just see, create props to attributes proxy. I can't quite reason about this. No access to props. So it doesn't actually get the children here. And the question is why? And that is because we are using the in a function component, the instance props is the attributes. Oh, wait a minute. Because we are putting this proxy. Oh, fuck. No, sorry, instance props. No, we are setting. So we have this proxy. Why doesn't it trigger on children? Created proxy. Why doesn't it? Is it because it's not enumerable? Or because we added to the underlying props? So what I think is, I have to learn this about. So what I think is when we proxy props like this, we give these hooks on what do we want to proxy. So you have defined property here, right? So I'm still not getting it. Why isn't children? Wait a minute. Didn't it run it? Isn't the proxy active? Oh, the proxy isn't active. Wait a minute. Save. Oh, that's interesting. Why isn't it active? So has... Oh, sorry. And yeah, this should also be Boolean. Sorry, I had opposite. There we go. Getting proxy, getting children. There we go. Okay. So if we are getting children, we are stating that it doesn't mean that so we are stating that if we are getting children, and the only reason that you would ever get children, yeah. Okay, let's try it. If key is not equal to children, the addition of children is only possible when no props are defined. Because this property as a fall through, this proxy is only active when is only active when fall through. You know what? Create fall through proxy. Yeah. That's what we're going to call it. The proxy is only active. Yeah, then we don't have to write that. The children should not activate or should not deactivate fall through. The reason is that you might be using children without or should it? Like the point is the point is that like with these children, maybe we shouldn't do anything about it. Yeah, let's not do anything about this. I think like if you actually use children, if you actually use that feature, like, yeah, no, I don't think we should do anything about it. But that's nice. We changed the name of it. That was a good thing. So what we're going to do, we're just going to change our example. So we're not going to use children. No access to props. No accessing props. Cool. So we're not going to have any children. Okay, good. So now it has fall through. Great. And then we have our next example. We are gonna do header 2 and we're actually gonna let's just use children here. Children is a string, and we do props children. Like, and then you you could also argue that inside, like, you have an internal state in the component. So you have an internal state in the component, and only when so we're still proxying props. Oh, good point. We changed that. Oh, did I remove? Oh, look at this. Look at me. I even turned off the whole thing. Yeah, and now we don't need, we can just use attributes. I think. Yeah, because I introduced the props again because of the children. Yeah, let's do that, and then let's reason more about it. Yeah, so if we're getting anything, we're turning off target. Cool. So what could happen here is that you have internal states in your you have fucking internal state in your component, and only when that state is like true, then you start accessing the props, and then you had fall through, which you didn't want to have. But that's like an insane edge case. So you did not destructure. You had only props that should be accessed. Yeah, it is a case though. Oh, header 2. So, okay, so shouldn't have fall through. Yeah. No fall through. So this header 2 should not have had any clicks, because we accessed. Yeah, that's weird. Header 2 should not have worked. So what happened there? Oh, look at me. Creating invalid code. Oh, that's weird. That was weird. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, of course. Ah, fuck. We can't just flip this flag, because this is being evaluated way before we render or run setup. Yeah, that's the thing. We can't just flip that flag. We have to manually control this. Oh, how should we do this? Because this inherit attributes, this happens on when is this being used? Here. Yeah, so this happens on render component. Oh, look at this. Because they're that sucks. It's because they're pointing to inherit attributes here, because they're destructuring. But through this process, we're gonna flip it as it's rendering. But then the reference here is still is not like what we changed it to. So the easy fix here would be to not destructure it and then point instance. Yeah. Not do that. But again, then we're affecting more code than we necessarily have to. But what we would have to do instead is like moving. We would have to move all keys from attributes to props. I think, okay, we're gonna try, we can reflect on that later, but let's do this. And then we say instance.inherit attributes. I think that fixes it. Yeah. Okay, let's keep that. I think we should make a comment. Let's see, instance. Do not destructure inherit as it can be changed during access to props. Okay, we're just gonna keep it like that for now. Let's run through the example. So no fall through because we're accessing props. So what are we actually testing here? We're testing that we're not breaking anything. Yeah. So so we need another one here where let's see. Fall through. So functional, it's kind of weird. Why does functional components have props? Like, why does it have this props thing? Why? Is it? Yeah, it's to separate props from attributes. Because I guess it would use the hook then. Um, yeah, I think I have a problem. It's so confusing. Because this is the attributes. Oh yeah, wait, this won't work. God damn it. Because in a functional component, if someone's accessing like maybe they have a foo here. So they just have a foo string, right? Props. This should have fall through. Yeah. Because that you don't because you don't define the props for function components. You just use the attributes. I think. Yeah. Ah, fuck. This won't work. Because function components has specific fall through. Oh my god. So how should we do this? I think we can still fix it. So the point is that I don't think any users actually uses header one dot props. Maybe some do because they, for some reason, they want to separate props from attributes. That might be, and then it will behave as expected. But a lot of users would also do this. And that's why function components only have specific fall throughs. But now we're turning off those fall throughs. So, but what we can do is maybe we shouldn't turn it off for. No, we should turn it off for ah. How would we separate those users? Those who use a function component, they have a prop they're using, but they still won't fall through. But then you have a new developer coming in. They put an on-click there. And then suddenly they get 2 on-clicks. What we could do is that we could check. We could do that on check. But that's also the thing. It's like maybe you want fall through on a class and a style, but you don't want it on the on click. Like this is what I think about it. Like if you explicitly access yeah, so this is why I think, and the way I think about it. If you explicitly access a property, that's considered a fall through, then it shouldn't do a fall through. That's it. That's how it should work. And for a stateful component, that can be anything, right? So that can be anything, but it works for a stateful component to do what we're doing now, because or maybe that should be the strategy. It's like, for whatever property you access, yeah, I think that this is what I was going after in the first place. Whatever property you access on props, it shouldn't fall through. Like, if you, that's the thing. If you access an actual prop that is normally a fall through, it shouldn't fall through. That's it. Okay. Good. But how do we do that? So good thing is that we can remove this change. So we have less change surface. That's good. What do we still have something here? No. Okay. The problem though is that this moving of oh, you know what we can do? Oh, I know what we're gonna do. So we are just gonna flag the keys here. And then we're gonna check thinking. So when we're not mounted, we're gonna flag the keys we are accessing. No. What happens here? So we have this proxy. It gets to the place where it merges the props. No, that's not where it happens. Where does it happen? Oh, fuck. I keep forgetting. I keep losing my mental model. So annoying. So we have fall through attributes. And that is the attributes. Which is fine, I think. Component, if you have component.props, it's the attributes. Yeah. Or get for, okay, so conceptually the attributes are the fall through. But we want to remove, yeah, I think we just have to do that. We have to pass in props data and we just have to move it over. And we don't need the instance here. We just have to do this. So we have the props we're proxying over. And then whenever we try to get something here, if key in target, we return reflect get target key. But if we don't have it, we're going to move it over. And now the scary thing, are we allowed to move it over? So we're gonna get a value which we get from attributes key. Then we're gonna delete attributes key, and then we're rather gonna add it to the props. Key equals value. Well, I guess we can say target key. And then where is it? Props. We have to move it because what happens during fall through is that it just takes the attributes object that represents the fall through. So we have to manipulate that object so it doesn't have all the keys for fall through. At least it's the simplest way to think about it. It's attributes is, if fall through is active, attributes is the thing that are the attributes that will fall through. And that's why we have the props configuration array, is that it eagerly moves things over, or it that's why we have the props array, because when it distributes the props between attributes and props, it does it immediately, but the fall through happens later. If that makes sense. So what are we testing? Yeah. So again, no, this should happen now. This should happen. This is fine because we didn't actually use the on-click. So let's add it and see if it stops doing its thing. Well, the funny thing is, it will still do the thing, right? But we need a button here. Let's see. Div. So button. Yeah, nothing's happening there, but it does it on the button. So this definitely works. And this makes a lot of sense. This is definitely how it should work. But now I think we have the issue why we moved away from this, because we did this initially, right? But then we had the conditional. So if you're, yeah, but now we have the conditional problem. This is why we didn't, yeah, fuck. This makes a lot of sense, but it just won't work in edge cases. And there's no way for any developer to reason about those edge cases. Why? Yeah, and the reason we thought it would work to access any prop is because we thought that functional components, they also define their props explicitly, but they don't. But maybe we could do the inherit attributes false, but on function components, we do that when oh, interesting. No, yeah, no. So what happens is, like, it runs through it the first time, and then you're accessing a prop that is not the on-click. Like, you have an on-click prop, but you're not accessing it. You're accessing some other prop, and you never access the on-click on that first render. So whatever you return on that first render will have a fall through on-click on it. But it will evaluate it again later. And then you won't have the onClick there anymore. But the problem is you already have your problem, and that is a fall through onClick just because it didn't access the onClick yet. But the problem here wasn't stateful components. Like, for stateful components, it made sense that if you access your props, it means that you don't want fall through. But what we could also state is that for a functional component, no, it would be the same problem. Like, fuck. I can't believe the biggest problem is now the functional component. It's so funny. For fuck's sake. I have to pee. I'm taking a short. I think I have some. Where's the thingy with the? Look at this. Look at this, Adam. Toilet break. I'll be right back. Right. Okay. How? Yeah. Yeah, there is like a key difference that we're not taking advantage of here. Because as you say, if you haven't defined the explicit props, you well, no, because you might be. So I guess. So let's imagine you're not using TypeScript, because TypeScript just adds confusion. You have this. You just have props foo, right? But then you pass an onClick from the outside. And if I were to access all the props, I would also access the onClick from the outside. And I would turn off fall through. Like, it's technically impossible to solve it. Like, 100%. So the question is more, do you just still do it? And as you said, Adam, like you just say that you should destructure your props in functional components. Mm. Hmm. Oh, this fucking sucks. Like I really like the concept of if you access a fall through attribute on the prop, it doesn't fall through. That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. The problem is the dynamic nature of accessing the props. It's also like if you do that, maybe you're using the attributes, like you're accessing the attributes using the hook, and then dynamically you access an attribute, and suddenly, like you have like a const use attributes using the hook, and that object suddenly changes because of some conditional rendering. It will also be like a horrible edge case. Okay, so let's just say something, see what happens. So what if we don't do it for functional components? We only do it for stateful components, because those had the biggest problem, because it didn't have props at all. But now at least it has. At least now, if you don't explicitly provide, so there's two problems here, right? One problem is that stateful components doesn't have props, or doesn't default to attributes like functional components does. But now we can do that using a proxy. So if you don't explicitly define props, we but why couldn't it just be the attributes then? Like, why can't, because like if you have, like with existing users of Vue, they aren't using the props object at all, right? Unless they actually define props. So we could just as well just default to making the attributes the props object, just like a functional component. Like, it shouldn't matter. Maybe there's some other aspect of like actually making the attributes, like the instance.props property reference the attributes object. Maybe there's like some consequence of that, so we could still have the proxy. So that's like one thing. Let's just do that. But then the other problem is the fall through, which is if you have an on click and you want to put that on a different element, you have to turn off fall through. And that's also the thing. It's like it's an all or nothing deal. It's a horrible feature, God damn it. Horrible. Goddamn dynamic UIs. I think what do I think? So okay, so what if we did ship it like this? And then there's the caveat that you should destructure your props. Like, as you said, Adam, if you have dynamic UIs, you should destructure your props. That's the caveat. And it could also be a way. Okay, so yeah, like if one component returns a functional component, it falls through to that nested component if that is the root. I read it from the documentation, at least, that it works that way. But what you can state that Vue has a feature called fall through attributes. So that means for a functional component, you have class, style, and listeners. If you want to take control of the fall through, you destructure your props. You either do that or you can like turn it off with a flag. So that means that if you want to control the fall through here, yeah, I think that's how you want to explain it. Because then, what was it? Foo. We had this on click. You do on click. Oh yeah, but we didn't. That was. Yeah, because what that means is that what you would also do in a stateful component is that if you want to take control of your attributes, or if you want to take control of your props, you just destructure your props. And then you would also do, like, if this is a stateful component, you have on click, and then you would do attributes like this, and then you would do it like this. So you just take, because this would then iterate the rest of the keys, right? Um, or I guess you could, yeah, that's the thing. Like you can do that if you sorry. So if you want the rest of them to be like here or something, you would do this. Or if you want it to be on the root, you could just destructure the thing you don't want to be on the root. So by manipulating the props, you have, like, by default, you have full access to this behavior. So what you can say is like, okay, by default, you can add like an on click to, let's use functional attributes and h1. So you have, you just want some function, you want to allow functional attributes here. But then if you want to take control of on click, the only thing you have to do is this. Now you control the on click. Where should it be? That makes a lot of sense. Now, the only thing I think we need to fix is that it doesn't... Yeah. Because... yeah, it's easier with the stateful component because there is either or. Either you have complete fall through, or you explicitly define your props, and then it's the same behavior, right? We don't mess with that. So in that stateful scenario, you would do the same. Like you would have attributes. I'm not sure calling it attributes. Oh, yeah, whatever. So there you could also take control of your on click. And then the rest would just fall down to the root element, but still you could do this, and then you control the rest of the props, or the rest of the attributes. Where should they be? And that's all you need to do. Now the thing about conditional is that, like, now it doesn't matter with conditional rendering. But if you were... Oh, you know what we can do? Oh, of course. We can just give a warning. Like, we know when you access a key after a component has been mounted. And if you do that, we throw a warning. Like, you shouldn't do that. After it's been mounted, and say you should destructure your props. Yeah. So basically, the only thing we need to do, well, then we need the instance. So instance, we get the instance here. Component internal instance. So well, how should we do this? Okay, so that means that I don't think we should generally... What we should do, we should track the keys you're accessing. So if we're in dev, what was it, dev? So in development, we're going to track the keys you're accessing when it's not mounted, right? And if you're accessing a key that was not accessed during not mounted, then we throw the error or throw the warning. So then you can use props dot whatever you want, but if something happens during, if you get into this conditional issue, then we'll warn you about it. So if dev let accessed keys, we say accessed keys is a new set. So this is a set of string, or it's undefined. And then again, if let's just do this. So if dev and instance is mounted, if dev and instance is mounted and accessed keys has, if not has the key that we're trying to access, then we're gonna console log or console warn. I don't know if, does Vue have like a general warning system? Warn? Yeah, warn. Oh, warn, do not access props dynamically. It is recommended to destructure your props. What I wonder is templates, like how does this affect templates? I guess it's the same. Do not access, like templates typically define the props, and they don't have functional, right? So do not access props dynamically. It is recommended. We recommend destructuring the props. The props you want to control. The rest will behave, will fall through to root element. Do not access props dynamically, which is fine. Okay. And then else if dev and instance is unmounted or is not mounted, because it's not been unmounted yet, right? We say access keys set or add key. Okay, let's see if this works. So let's build it. Fine. Cool. Let's see if we can trigger the error or the warning. So if I, by the way, we also need to test attributes. Like, does it actually show the rest of the keys? How are we gonna test this? It's only in, okay, let's see what else we, yeah, let's test that now. Like, so on click, or we do this. Okay, fall through, no fall through. rest attributes header 3. So we're gonna have children on click and then attributes. So we're gonna put okay, we're gonna do something crazy. No, we're gonna have the okay, so we're gonna have the on click here, we're gonna have the children here, and then we're gonna have rest element or a div rest element, and then we're gonna do attrs like this, and that means we're gonna apply like the class there or something, or maybe a style. So we have header 3 hello world console log, and then we're gonna do style. Oh, come on, wait, why isn't that? Oh, and functional attributes. Yeah, this is just going to be applied to div. Yeah, it's interesting though, like the on click. Yeah, whatever, it's just typing. Header 3 style color blue. Yeah. Oh, why did it? Wait a minute. Okay, so the rest of the attributes. Okay, so that didn't work. So how does a proxy? Ooh. Oh, wait a minute. Shouldn't this be attributes? Oh, I forgot to. On keys attributes. That's a problem. So the structuring doesn't. JS proxy destructure. I thought that meant. Oh, sorry. Rest. It's not destructuring. It's rest destructuring. Rest. This destructuring rest parameter. Yeah, but I thought it would. I thought this would. What actually happens here? Does this become its own object? Don't tell me. But then it should have. If it becomes its own object, then it has to have accessed all the. This is weird. Why didn't that work? Okay, let's just look at it. So it's accessing children on click. Oh no. Why doesn't it access? Is there something missing? So oh, is it has? No. Huh. JS proxy, the structure with REST parameter not working. Has nobody ever tried this? Hmm. Hmm. That's a problem. I think this is a limitation of proxy. It's weird to me. I would think this would actually iterate the keys somehow. Wait, is that what the hell is this? How can this be a proxy? Wait, what does the actual code look like? Sources. Something weird going on here. Source app. No, it's just How can that be a proxy? That makes me confused. This attributes thing, how can that be a proxy? Proxy spread parameter. Spread. Oh, sorry, not spread. REST parameter. But maybe there's no documentation because it should just work. But I don't understand how that can become a proxy. That's super weird. Like if I go in here and say cons my proxy, new proxy. Okay, let's just proxy the window. And then let's see. Get target key. Return reflect get target key. And let's also add own, what was it? Own keys. Reflect own keys. Target. My proxy. Okay, and then rest. That worked. Why doesn't, but it's not a proxy. Why does it become a proxy? That makes absolutely no sense. How can something you rest spread become a proxy? Is it because it's like it's reactive? Like it has this isref. I'm very confused by this. Okay, let's just try to attributes style. Oh, it's undefined. This makes absolutely no sense. No, I'm not creating the proxy. I have no idea how that proxy can be created. We're just spreading out of a proxy. Like, this is a proxy, this whole object, the props. Okay, but let's do this and then oh, this is so weird. Props, attributes. So this is a proxy over an object, and this is a. Oh, sorry, I was confused. Like the v raw here is the proxy. That's fine. Okay, but that means that this v raw, this is on the props probably. So maybe what we should do here is basically we don't proxy over the props. We proxy over the attributes. And then we rather say key in props. We do that. Thinking. So there can't be anything on props here. So we don't actually need to do that. Why do we have props here? Why do we have props here? The only way props can be populated is if you have the props configuration. But then this doesn't. Yeah, was this the children thing? I can't remember. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, no, it was because we're moving them over to props. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I think we should still, but we should just go over attributes because that's the thing. So if we access, like that's the way it works, right? We're defaulting to attributes, and then we create this proxy where you might be accessing specific props, and that's the getter here. But if you ever like iterate over it, it will be the attributes you're iterating over. And when you access, it means like you're explicitly accessing it. So it's moved to the props. Yeah, I think so. Sorry, so this should be props. Something like this. So this will be. But here I don't think we need this. Oh, cannot cannot delete children. Yeah. It's because we don't allow it, like it's not configurable. We could make children configurable. Or we could just how should we handle children? I don't like that functional components just uses attributes. I don't like that. Like I can check children here. But it's starting to get very complicated. I don't like that. Let's just try to make it work. Okay, so now it worked. Yeah, but it makes sense that we base the proxy on the actual attributes, and then that's the thing you kind of access. It's the attributes, but then as you're accessing specific props, we move it over to the actual props object, which becomes like a front. The thing is that we could just I could change the other commit and make children configurable so that you can move children from attributes to props. Or we could change that PR so that, oh, maybe we should do that instead. Thinking. So the other PR, we could make children part of props. So it's never on the attributes, which will work. But then these becomes tied together, because that's what I meant about I don't like attributes being accessible in functional components. You should rather move all the attributes over to props. Like for consistency. Because you are accessing the props. No, but I think it's fine. Let's keep it for now. Let's see. Cool. We're back up. Oh, do I have a lot of logging? Okay. So that's that. And then we have, what's the next thing? So now you have, like, the point is that from a developer experience, this makes a shit ton of sense. Like, we're completely controlling this. Like, we're getting the children over here. We're gonna grab the on click because we want it on the button. But any other attributes, we want those to be tied to this thing. Makes a lot of sense. And then I guess we kind of want to go through the same with stateful. And then additionally on stateful, we're also gonna test the dynamic. Like, do we get a warning? Let's see. So that would be header 4, header 5. Is it header 4? Header 6. And then we say cons header 4 equals define component. And then we do this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy myself a freaking phone. There's this let's see. I'm gonna have the new. I haven't bought a phone forever, and I have this swap deal, and I have the iPhone 12, and now they're releasing the iPhone 16, and it's like it's different. Like it's optimized for Apple Intelligence. So I thought I would. Oh, I think a lot of people are going in here. Yeah, it's interesting. And like they've changed the buttons and stuff. It's like a good, like the 13, 14, and 15, they weren't that different. But this one is very different. So I thought I would. Oh, so you're like an Android dude. Do you use Windows as well for development? Or Linux? Aren't you a Mac head? I thought you were a Mac head or Apple head. Oh, you do? You use Windows? Wow. Like I have fond memories of Windows, like back in the Windows XP days. That was an amazing operating system. But yeah, I would have a hard time going back to Windows now. Let's see. I want to do a swap. Yeah, whatever. Mobile and subscription. Window management. Yeah, you're a power user, right? Where's my swap? How do I swap? Change subscription? Oh, wait. How do I access swap? How the fuck do I go to... Oh, this is horrible. That's a shitty interface. News. Okay, I want a Pro. I want the black one, I think. Do I need 256? I don't think. I think it's enough with 128 gigabytes. Like, I don't store anything on the phone. It's like I have very minimal. Let's see. Oh, no, this is the Pro. I don't want the Pro version. I want the normal. There we go. I don't need a Pro version. The question is, like, I look at my phone. I only use, like, I have 64 gigs now, and I'm using like nothing. So it seems completely overkill to go like 256 gigabytes. But it's like 60. Like, maybe something will change. And I need more storage. Okay. Okay. I'll do, like, it's kind of cool, the blue one, but it's too bluish for me. I'll do the black one. Okay, go to oh, the website is super slow. I think they're having a lot of traffic. Okay, continue. And they have this swap deal. So I can like turn in my old phone. Yeah, I want to swap it. Continue. Swap. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, my phone. I'm not sure how much I'll get back. It's not broke, like the screen isn't broken, but there's damage on the edges, the backside, and button. Like, it's so in the links below. There aren't any links below. That's so funny. Like, what does it mean? Is the screen broken? Like, it's not broken, but it has, like, it's been used. But yeah, I consider broken not functioning. So let's continue. Huh? Your insurance doesn't cover the damages? Screen insurance? But I didn't say that the screen was broken. What the fuck is this? I said the screen is not broken. Yeah, there's some scratches on the edges. Something else not working. Why? What the fuck is this? Your insurance doesn't cover the damages? What if I continue with a new? What the hell is this? But what's the price now? Like if I... That was horrible. But it's kind of funny when I say that the screen is not broken, and then it says my insurance doesn't cover broken screens. And an error occurred. Okay, fuck that. I'll order it later. Okay, so we have header 4. Let's do header 5. Define component. And then header 6. Define component. Oh yeah, we need to actually return this. Return. Oh, we have an header 4. Let's remove that. Okay, header 3. Let's do header 4, header 5, header 6. So no accessing props, that should have fall through. This one should not have fall through there, but I can use it there, and this should not be styled here or clickable. And that's the thing, and then we got the rest element there. So that works exactly the same. Nice. Now let's do header 7. And now we're gonna do something dynamic. So let's do count ref 0. So let's do something simple. So we're gonna access, let's do props here instead. Let's just do something very simple. Let's do a foo string. Don't even need, well, okay, can have children. If count is less than 3, we're gonna return h1 with the children. Sorry, props.children. Oh, count.value. And if it's more than that, we're gonna return props.foo and then props children. Then we have header 7. We're gonna do the foo thing. Oh, bippity boo, bippity boo. So now, oh, we have to increase the count. So the on click here would be, yeah, maybe we should show the count. Count.value. And here the count.value is plus. We should just have the same behavior here. And then count.value. Yeah, something like that. 2, 3. Oh, wait a minute. What happened here? Oh, I think, oh, this is interesting. Talking about the structuring. If you destructure children in a stateful component, you'll get an error. Like you don't even have to destructure it. It's just because it's being accessed. Fuck. And the reason is that we are implicitly calling the slot when you access children. Fuck. That sucks. But we did get a warning, right? Do not access props dynamically. We recommend destructuring the props you want to control. The rest will fall through to root element. We have a big issue, and it's related to typing, because the Vue plugin will convert children to functions. Well, I guess that doesn't matter. Well, it's still a typing issue, because if we're going to make children callable, if we're going to make children callable, the typing has to be callable. And then you have to make the children a function at the consumption point as well. And you don't want that, because the bubble or the Vue plugin converts it to a function. God damn it. But maybe maybe we should just not do that. Like, it's not a problem that well, yeah, it is a problem. God damn it. How should we fix that? Like, if there was some way to know, there's probably some state inside Vue that tells us if we're doing this kind of thing. Or if we're doing setup, if we're calling setup. Because even what we see here is like even validate props. Like here, even validate props goes through the like kind of goes through the props, right? And accesses the children, but those shouldn't be accessed during setup. Those should be accessed during render. Yeah, use slots. Like, if we make children callable, like you can't state that in, that's the thing. It's like in Vue, you want your children to be functions. Because of observation. So that observation happens inside the owner of the children instead of in the like parent. But the plugin handles that so that you can have proper, like, more intuitive typing and handling of it. And the problem is, even if we fix the typing for, so let's say we will conclude that, oh, but if you have a stateful component, you have to define your children as a function. That wouldn't work because it's implicitly called by Vue. So the only way to fix it is to make it all callable, like it just proxies to slots. But then you have to type it as a function, which means at the consumption side, you have to use it as a function. You have to define it as a function. So if you just have a button, you have to you have to button with some text. You have to use a function to define the text of that button, which is silly, right? Because of typing, not because at runtime. Oh my god, all the problems. Oh. But this is working. Like the thing we've done now, this is working. So we can create a commit for this. Yeah, I think this is the wrong term. I don't like this. But there's so many places it references these. Should probably refactor this. Yeah, I need to refactor this. But yeah, how to fix the children. Oh, what the hell is this music? So the only real way to fix this is that you have to call the children. The shitty thing is that you lose the, and we can still have that. We can just call it slots even, and then proxy to slots. Oh yeah, this is just, yeah, this is like, it's confusing code. I would rather want it to, like, this is the behavior. with props definition and without props definition, because we're kind of splitting it up in an unnatural way now. Because this is props, right? It's actually props. And here we just make the props shallow reactive or not. Oh yeah, exactly. And here it used to be a difference. But now since we proxy through the... Since we proxy through the... We proxy, I mean, in this case, now suddenly they're the same. I think maybe we should just keep this as is and then create like an if based explicitly on not having any props defined or something. Yeah, we could do that. But yeah, we'll see. But if we... The slots has to be a function, then you have to use a function for all your children. Like, what you could do is, okay, you got slots here, and then you would kind of do... But that would be silly. It would just be type conversion. God damn it. Well... So what you could do, but it would be so silly. You would kind of... So the children would be typed normal, but the proxy, the slots proxy, would require you to call them. So if you just did children dot or props dot children, that wouldn't work. But then you would kind of have to do something like const slots, and then you would like use children or something, and then you would do props children, and that would actually take the types of children and make it callable. And then you would do slots dot children, slots dot default, and you would kind of call it like this. Yeah, it will kind of convert the typing into slots. Maybe that's how you should do it. Because you could even infer that if the children typing is of this type, if it's a record, then it would actually give like slots name here. You know what? And then we wouldn't even need a proxy. So props.children isn't anything. It's undefined. It would just use the typing of children to produce the correct slots. That's way less intrusive. Or we could, you know what? Because you have use slots, so we could rather change use slots. so that it could take optionally an argument, which is props children. So for those who uses slots, you could still do it, but you could pass it props children for typing purposes. Yeah, this is definitely doable. So what it means is that in that other commit, we could like completely remove the proxy. We would just have the typing for children, and then we change use slots instead. So it can return. It returns the correct typing of that, and we actually just it's just a typing change for use slots. Yeah, that would work. Maybe we should do that. Okay, let's I want to look at this code as is. How can I want to see the file. View. How do I like close this? It's component props. Where's the change? Do we need this now? Yeah, what's gonna happen here now? Like if you actually, what the fuck happens to this one? So you're trying to access children. Yeah, but I think that's fine. Like we can remove this as we're making that change to children. So if is stateful, I just don't like how this looks. I think we should rather say, I think we should keep this as is. So we do else if, so if has, and then we say instance.props equals, and then we keep this the way it was. Props, and then we don't have this. I think this is better. Yeah. So now we have less of a change here. Let's see, well, how does this look like now? So the only thing we do now is that we're just adding this small part here. If no props options are defined, yeah, and it's much cleaner implementation. I think we can much more easily get away with it as well. Getting it merged, which is great. If no props options are defined, we use proxy. We use the fall through proxy. This is gonna need some explaining. But okay, let's git add, git commit, feed fall through attributes proxy. Well, I guess we can call it props implement well, fall through attributes proxy. Or lazy fall through attributes. Yeah. So sad. I can't order my phone. They're having a. Oh, it went through. Okay, so I do have. Okay, nice. It's the same price, but I can't give my phone to them. Oh. That's so funny. Like, I'm filling in the order, and I had to sign in with my phone number because of my subscription, and then contact information for delivery. And then they pre-fill my email, but they don't pre-fill my phone number. That's ridiculous. Okay, but I think I'm happy with this. Like, wow, total price, fucking expensive. But what should I do with my old phone? Oh, maybe I can actually use it as a camera, because I keep like putting it up there as a camera, but now I can just keep it there. Maybe. No, I should probably sell it or give it to someone. Nice. What were we doing? Yes, we were changing the. So let's look at the git log, and we're gonna change the children prop. So let's do some rebasing. Rebase interactive. Like so. Children prop. Okay, let's have a look see. So we created this init children. So we're actually completely gonna remove this. There's no init children. And then in component, we're not gonna call init children. So now that thing is completely removed, but we still have all the typing in place. So what we're gonna do now is just change the typing of use slots. Where the hell is use slots defined? Is that in runtime core? Yeah, here it is. So what we're going to do with use slots, this is going to be interesting. So it still supports that signature. Slots would be read-only internal slots. That thing. And then we're going to have another one, which actually takes, which extends. Oh, this is interesting. I think we just use T here. Internal slots. Oh. Yeah, and that's any. So wait, what happened there? Oh, it says setup context slots. Oh, okay, sorry. But there we're gonna change it. So if we pass children, we're actually gonna see if t extends object, not object, record string any. We are gonna I think we can manually type this. By the way, we're not, if we do t children t, yeah, and we're actually just gonna return the slots here. Then we're gonna drop this. This is kind of weird. This is just a type override kind of thing. So it's much easier to do as any here. But let's finish this. So if this is the case, we're going to iterate it, or we're going to return default. What does slots actually unwrap slots type? Where are we? Wait, where did we go? What the hell? Was it here? No. Use slots. Wait, where's the file? There we are. I'm a little bit confused because these slots, what do they actually? Yeah, there's like no typing on them. I guess we do any here as well. We don't really care. But here we'll just do k in key of t. And then it's basically the same. Any. Oh, do I have to do this? Let's do this then, just to be consistent. And that's basically it. So useslot still works the same. We allow using a children type to return the correct typing. Oh yeah, sorry. So this would of course be k in key of t. This will be tk, and this will be t, of course. We allow using a children type to return the correct typing. You're saying I don't have to type interactive? That's amazing. To return the correct slots typing. Yeah, but this is all it needs. So we can try to, oh fuck, now we don't have the other commit. But I think this is just gonna work. So we're gonna actually amend it. All amend, no edit. But will this be wrong? Oh, no, I can do this. Nice. Yeah, this is going to be great. So let's do that. And then we're going to do git rebase continue. Git rebase continue. No. What happened? Oh yeah, because now it was part of the other one. Yeah, so we want... Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna manually resolve this because we don't have any children anymore. But we do have fall through proxy. Resolve, mark them as resolved with git add. And then run git rebase continue. Okay, this is fine. Git add, git rebase continue. Okay. Git push dash dash force. Hopefully it's all good now. pm build, pm build, and pm build DTS. This is nice because the change is much smaller now, or less. Yeah. Now the only thing is that by introducing the children typing, there's probably a lot of projects that's going to have a lot of typing issues because they haven't typed their children and they're passing children, right? So they get kind of an error for not passing, or they get an error for passing children because it's not typed. But I wonder if you can declare an override for that. Yeah. Okay, let's see now. Let's restart the TS server just to be... Okay, so we need to change const slots, use slots, props.children, and then we do slots default. Nice. That would be slots.children. Sorry, slots default. And now we would rather const slots is use slots props.children, and now we would do slots.default, and same here. Children slots.default. Oh yeah, let's try this. Children name and see what happens. Oh, you mean the name of the property? So like you could choose if you wanted to use children or slot as a property. I do not think so. Yeah, we can change the name of the property, but it needs to be one property. Oops. Well, funny enough, this actually should be a function when it's named. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, yeah, we have to fix another. So now I think slots. Yeah, we have to check if it's a function, because if it's a function, I hope this can be fixed in the Vue plugin, so that it transforms named slots as well to functions. That would be nice, but we can fix this with the typing. Doesn't matter, because it implicitly calls this function internally when we call the slot. Oh, sorry. You see, it's still working. This is nice. Wait, why did this stop working? Oh, sorry. No, that should be. It says no, so I thought it shouldn't click, but it should. Great. Do not access props dynamically. We recommend destructuring the props you want to control. The rest will fall through to root element. Nice. Okay, so the only thing we need to fix is the final typing of, let's do -ei. Oh, sorry, git log. I think I can do like head as well, like if I would just wanna. No, wait, it's not that one I want to change. It's this one. Children prop slots. Okay, git rebase -i. Git rebase. Oh, yeah. And now we want to edit the children prop. And let's go and find the thing, API setup helpers. So the thing here is we just check tk extends. I think we can say function. But we can do this instead. So if it extends that, we're just gonna do it. And let's comment that. Named slots needs to be defined as a function. Name slot needs to be name slots needs to be defined as a function. But Vue implicitly calls it internally. For correct, we need to adjust the typing for that behavior. Nice. Oh, I think we should also, yeah, I think we should do this generally. So if t extends any, we're gonna just use t. Like you might define your child as a function, right? The type definition, and then call it as a function, and then Vue will still have this implicit to return. Vue implicitly calls children functions, so we adjust the typing for that. Or call slots slot functions. Yeah, but this is nice. Like we should let's do a git commit all amend no edit, and then we do a git rebase continue, and then we're going to look at the actual commits we created now. because it's not many changes. Let's see. Where did I put that thing? Core. Ah. Isn't it this one? I think it's this one. Whatever. No, that's Vue.js core. Let's look at our PR. Okay, so our commits is basically replaced with improve JSX typing. So this is a no-brainer. This just makes the typing way better. Oops. This one is definitely a no-brainer. Yeah, it's more like what's it called? Naming thing. Like, should it be called attributes and functional attributes or whatever? And then we have children prop to slots prox. Oh, we shouldn't change the name of it. Children prop. It's basically just children prop typing. Git rebase interactive. We just want to reword this one. Children prop JX type children prop JSX typing and use slots. Well, I guess children prop JSX and use slots typing. I don't think no. Okay. So this is like one file just dumping much better typing in there. And then we have children prop JSX and use slots typing, which is just fixing the typing for use slots. So you can pass children in there. And this is like super non-intrusive. And then we add the view node for children typing. And then we add the children, like super, super tiny. And then we have lazy fall through attributes, which is a little bit more. But it's tiny, right? Anyone can. Awesome. Oh. Let's look at the merge. Yeah, let's look at let's read through the Le PR. So this PR will lower the threshold for developers preferring JSX and TypeScript to adopt Vue by greatly improving its JSX typing and conform to common JSX patterns. This PR is in the gray area of having an RFC first, but there are very few changes. I wanted to show that it's technically achievable without breaking changes, and it definitely has a widely applicable use case. The last thing we have to figure out is adding the children thing. but it's not breaking, right? When you have a type thing, it's not breaking. Yeah, I'm not sure if we need any. Anyways, I'm writing an article on giving up on React. It explains why React has diverged from its origins and become a source of frustration for building complex productivity applications. The article further explores how Vue, with its amazing community and ecosystem, can become an alternative. Vue comes very close, but its JSX has some critical issues. Instead of building abstractions to fix it, I want to find a scope that could generally improve Vue at the core and make the framework as adoptable for React developers using JSX, as for developers preferring single file components. The article is written as if this PR was merged. I'm thinking rather that we should actually publish the article when we create the PR. As a plead to this PR, as no other frameworks. A plead? What's a plead? Plead meaning, yeah, make an emotional appeal. That's exactly what it is. It's written as a plead to this PR, as no other frameworks as no other frameworks fits the bill. Whatever, I can fix that later. Couldn't come up with anything. All this work has been streamed on YouTube. Improves the view to latest session and now properly types event handlers. So commit. Yeah, so the PR is structured in individual commits where any or all can be merged. Commit 1 improves yeah, I should put the name of it. Anyways, improves the Vue runtime .jx typing to latest HTML typing and now properly types events on event handlers. Event handlers, the class, prop, and fall through attributes. Adds backward compatible addition. Okay, so adds the common children typing to JSX by passing the as the common children the children prop is never populated but can be passed to use slots for proper typing of slots. It's not never. It's not populated. But can be passed use slots for proper typing of slots. Adds view node for typing children. Yeah, so that will be commit 2. And then we have commit 3. So implements a props proxy for function components and stateful components without props without a props definition. It lazily evaluates it tracks what props you are accessing, and oh my god, like this week has been, I hope I will look back fondly on this week. It will be like I will regardless of what the result of this is, because it's been super fun and exhausting in a good way. But it would be so cool to also have some like feedback on the article and on the PR. Like it would be so sad if like someone just goes in, we're never going to do this, and just closes the PR. That would be horrible. Then I would be sad. Commit 3 implements a props proxy for function components and stateful components without a props definition. It tracks what props. You know what? I don't think we should hint to anything here. We should just. Yeah, we should just. We should just do. Oh, sorry. Commit 1. Improved JSON. The typing replaced was created by Solid, inspired by Inferno and Surplus. It has been adapted to Vue. This gives proper typing for event handlers, and is up to date. Also added the class value, proper class value typing, and added attributes and function. Did I call it function attributes? For easy, for typing fall through attributes. So that's that. No, did it do the thingy? No, now it's correct. My component props. Let's see, import function attributes from Vue. I don't like that name. Did I call it functional? Oh, functional attributes. Yeah, okay. For fall through attributes. So it will be functional attributes input. Types the event listeners correctly to HTML input element. Okay, and then we have commit 2, which was children prop and slots typing. Is use children prop to represent past children to the component. This PR adds children prop. PR adds the JSX children typing. Blah blah blah. Not only because prop to represent the past children to the component. This PR adds the JSX children typing. To consume the children prop is not populated. It's not populated, but it can be passed to use slots to get the correct typing of the slots. So we would do import use slots from Vue, cons slots, use slots, props children, slots.default. Yeah, so this would be use slots. Const slots would be use slots props.children. So that would be slots header, slots footer. No, the current documentation for passing slots states that you have to pass default children's function, but this is not true. The VJS plugin VJSX automatically transforms the default children to a function. Would be nice if it also automatically transforms named children as Vue. Will throw a warning when you're not doing this. That way, named children would not have to be typed and consumed as functions. It is kind of annoying, the children thing. But there really isn't any way to fix it. I think. Oh my god. Yeah, we can think about it. Commit 3 is. Did I do it like this? Yeah. Intuitive automatic fall through attributes. What did I call it? Whatever. Yeah, all this is wrong. Automatic fall through. I think I'm going to point to the specific place in the article where it brings up the challenges of Vue, maybe. One of the biggest mental burdens adopting Vue is the fall through attributes and how functional components differs from stateful components. This change only applies to functional components and stateful components. That does not configure its props. On this change is only active on functional components and that does not configure its props. I think it just needs to be shown. My component props. Well, I can do the structuring, I guess. On click, return div button on click equals on click. Click it. By tracking what keys are or properties are accessed on props, we lazy fall through attributes. We lazily move values from attributes to props. So when fall through is evaluated, you will only it will only is evaluated. So when fall through attributes is valid, it will only fall through attributes that has not been accessed by props. This gives full freedom and flexibility. This gives full freedom and flexibility on dealing with the fall through. So let's see. So we have an on click here. We might have, what did we check? We had, well, I guess we don't have to show. So we have on click ID and then here automatically moving all to controlled props. ID equals ID. Button. Yeah, maybe we would do, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Div. Something like that. Okay, I'm tired. So I'm gonna, over the weekend, I am going to just iterate on the article and this description. And I want to make sure that we make the arguments here as well. Like, this is a given. It's just better typing. This one requires a bit more consideration. I should highlight that it will create type errors for anyone using this version. They would have to type their children. Also explain that there's been like many iterations on this. Yeah, and then lazy fall through attributes. Yeah, I just need to flesh it out. But this is great. This is definitely gonna make Vue adoptable, I think. If we get all of these in, then there is more like, because you do get any library out there has typing as well, and they are like, if you want to use a component from a library, you have to import a component as a component. So you can use it with JSX or in a template. Like it's all the same. I think one of maybe the biggest things is like directives. That would be an interesting thing to reflect on as well, like how to make directives more approachable in JSX. But that's nothing you have in React or these other solutions, so that's fine. Um, um, yeah, yeah, I'm happy where this ended up. I guess the only thing is like the use slots, like trying to explain to. I think it's fine, like, because you can still tell them. You tell the engineer that, yeah, we do have children on props, but to actually consume the children, you have to consume them as slots, and this has to do with how Vue optimally renders children. Um, so you get the typing, and you get yeah, exactly. And then lazy fall through attributes. It's really nothing that needs to be explained to a React developer. Like what it means. Well, of course, it needs to be explained that. Well, actually, it doesn't need. Well, it needs to be explained in the sense that, like, you can do it, but by default, you control your props, right? That's really important. So if you add an on click, you control where that on click should be. And because of typing, nothing will like leak through suddenly. So that's the important thing. You actually control your props, but you can choose to not apply certain props, and they will fall through to the element, the root element of the component, with certain rules with functional and stateful component. But the point is that you can try it out without understanding fall through attributes, and it works as expected. That's the most important thing. You won't have any surprises. You won't have any what the fuck moments. That's the important thing. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for sticking with me through this, Adam. It certainly helps. Yeah, I like it too. This is gonna be, I think conceptually it's good enough to, if anyone's like itching with React or whatever, it's gonna be enough to sell it. And then at least we have an alternative. Yeah, it's super interesting. It's super duper interesting. I still think there should be like an article. But that's the good thing. Like now, I can rather write an article on how to do state management, like state management in Vue, basically, instead of like creating a library and documentation and all of that stuff. Yeah. Anyways, bye for now. We'll talk. I don't think I'll be able to stream this weekend, but we'll see. Yep. Bye. 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 Bye.